Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2, and another win for Tottenham as they remain top of the Premier League table. And after 10 matches, they have 8 wins and 2 draws. Wow. Who would have seen that coming at the start of the season, having lost Harry Kane and replacing serial winners in Mourinho and Conte to now go with Ange Postecoglou, coming from the humble Celtic and all the way across the world in Australia to now be thriving with Tottenham, playing beautiful football along the way, and now has got top of the Premier League table, unbeaten after 10 Premier League matches. And by the way, not just unbeaten after 10 Premier League matches, because that's one thing, which is its own achievement in itself. But you've gone to the Emirates and drawn 2-2, a very difficult place to go. You've beaten Liverpool. You've got a point against Brentford. You've obviously gone now to Crystal Palace and won that game. These are not easy games whatsoever for Tottenham Hotspur, and they found a way to win them. So for me, I think Spurs deserve an awful lot of credit. An awful lot of credit. I'm not even a Tottenham fan, but from the outside, I do have to look in and say they've been doing really well. Genuinely really well. Because I didn't see this coming. Did anyone? Did you really see this coming? I mean, at the start of the season, you see Harry Kane going. You see Ange Postecoglou come in. It seems as though Tottenham, in my opinion, at that point, was ripping up everything and starting again. It's like they were blowing up the whole operation and going again. They were going to go away from the days of Mourinho and Conte, focusing on purely trying to just win trophies by playing unattractive, negative football. And it kind of went backwards. They didn't end up winning anything. Now with Ange Postecoglou, it seems though Tottenham, in making that appointment, were trying to go back to the old Tottenham under Pochettino, which was not really winning any trophies, but playing entertaining football, and the fans are enjoying the progress they're making. And what's ended up happening is, crazily, as a byproduct of playing good football that the fans are buying into, they're getting great results along the way. Guys, winning away at Palace is not for the faint-hearted. If I look at the fixture list, right, and you take away the big matches, the Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Arsenals, etc., the Chelseas, Man Uniteds, if you take away the big teams, and even if you take away the teams like the Brightons, the Newcastles, the Aston Villas, out of the rest of the teams in the Premier League, the bottom half of the table teams, which away games are the toughest? In my opinion, it's Goodison Park and Selhurst Park. That's my thoughts on it. Those are two very tough places to go. It doesn't matter if they're thriving or playing badly. Everton and Palace away are two very tough grounds to go to. And Spurs have come here and got a very good victory. Very good victory. I thought the first half, they had a lot of possession, but weren't really doing anything dangerous with it. They had the ball, but weren't really cutting Crystal Palace open. And if anything, Palace had the better chances. But that's where you need to dig in if you're a Tottenham team, right? Especially when you go away from home. It doesn't matter if you're the best team on planet Earth or a mediocre team. You're going to face some struggles away from home. It's just the extent of how much struggle you face. I thought in the first half, I never thought Tottenham were really going to implode at any point. But they were under the cosh a little bit. You saw Chris Palace start to throw bodies forwards, do what they do best, which is putting balls in the box. And I mean, they had 2 chances in the first half. One to Andre Ayew and one to Jordan Ayew and one to Odsonne Edouard, where if it wasn't Vicario making 2 great stops, they could have found themselves at least 1-0 down to Tottenham Hotspur. But he did really well. I think Vicario has been one of the signings of the season in terms of underrated signings. This man has taken over from Lloris and no one talks about him. I mean, Tottenham have made some brilliant signings. Let's be honest, some brilliant signings this summer. You look at James Maddison, brilliant signing. You look at Mickey van der Ven, again today, absolutely fantastic. What another brilliant signing. But then you look at the other players they brought in. Destiny Udogie, signed in January, I believe, but still on loan. He's now come in. Of course, he didn't play today due to an injury, but he's been fantastic. Sarr, they had him last season, but he was kind of hit and miss. If anything, for me, he looked a little bit like the Premier League was too fast for him. Someone's had a fantastic time in pre-season and during the summer because he looks like a brand new player. Yves Bissouma got signed from Brighton. Everyone's saying it was going to be a brilliant signing. Didn't see him play. And now suddenly he's back into the team again under Ange Postecoglou and looking decent. Those are just cases of Tottenham making some brilliant signings. And I want to add into that list Vicario. Most clean sheets in the Premier League. Highest save percentage in the Premier League. Brilliant. 2 attributes to a top goalkeeper. Clean sheets and a high save percentage. And again, they make some brilliant saves. Vicario is one of the reasons Tottenham are doing so well this season. Trust me, guys, that man. Just because he's not a household name, just because it was not Andre Onana, who, by the way, Andre Onana has not had the best of starts at Manchester United. I big up him for making that save against Copenhagen because I think he needed that for his confidence. But Vicario doesn't get mentioned. When you talk about Tottenham signings, everyone talks about James Maddison, and rightly so. Against they got an assist for an own goal. James Maddison, influential in this Tottenham team. Some will point to Mickey van der Ven, but not enough credit goes to their goalkeeper, Gigi Vicario. Unbelievable again. Today, didn't need to make worldy saves, but that save from Odsonne Edouard got down low, palmed it away from danger. You look at the game against Fulham on Monday, brilliant save from the corner from João Paulinho. That would have been 1-0 Fulham. Then anything could have happened. So Tottenham are doing really well to grind out victories in multiple ways. Their attack is firing as well. James Maddison and Son are linking up brilliantly. Kulusevski's back to his best. You look at their defense, I mentioned before, rock solid. Christian Romero, Mickey van der Ven, the goalkeeper, whether it was Ben Davies swapping out for Emerson Royale, and of course Pedro Porro is a mainstay at fullback right now as well. So Tottenham, all facets of their game are clicking. And I want to make a quick analogy about Tottenham Hotspur, because from what I've seen this opening 10 games, has reminded me very much of Arsenal last season. Now, I am an Arsenal fan. I'm not a Tottenham fan, but I'm being unbiased. I think Tottenham have been fantastic this season, and they're one of the most enjoyable teams to watch. I actually enjoy watching Tottenham play football nowadays, and I'm saying that taking off my Arsenal cap and being unbiased. I think their football's beautiful. Whereas in recent seasons, I'd watch Tottenham purely because I'm an Arsenal fan. I'd want to watch them lose. I still want to watch them lose. Don't make no mistake about it. I'm an Arsenal fan still. There's no change about that. But at least when I watch Tottenham now, I'm enjoying the football matches. I'm enjoying the way they play football. I'm enjoying the fact that they're actually knocking the ball about, playing on the front foot, having possession. Their players are firing from multiple fronts. It's an enjoyable team to watch now. And I want to compare them to Arsenal last season. And I'm going to compare them in multiple ways. One, the fact that they've come out of nowhere. No one saw this coming. Last season, no one thought Arsenal would go on a title charge. Now, I'm not saying that Tottenham are going to go on a title charge. Not quite yet. I'd still give them good 5, 6, 7 games. Wait till the Christmas period until we really assess that. But they've come out of nowhere. And the second indicator for Tottenham, which Arsenal had last season as well, is the rotation within their squad. Tottenham are not really rotating. I'd hazard a guess that out of every Premier League team, I don't know this, but I'd hazard a guess that out of every Premier League team, Tottenham have rotated the least in terms of their starting 11s. The players that play are playing in every single game. Son starting every single game. Maddison starting every single game. Romero, Mickey van der Ven, basically starting every single game. The keeper, Sarr starting every single game. Bissouma, if he didn't get suspended against Fulham last game, he would have started every single game. Kulusevski, same thing. Do you get what I mean? These players are starting every single game. They're getting the same mainstay 11. The same was with Arsenal last season. Arsenal had their starting 11 and they were running it every single week and it was working. But what else is working for Tottenham Hotspur? No European football. That's extra time on the training ground and extra time for Ange to implement his style on the current crop of players. They finish a game, great. They play Crystal Palace. What's their next thought? Chelsea the week next Monday. That's all they're thinking about. No European midweek, no Carabao Cup in midweek, nothing else like that. Their next thought process is, okay, how do we prepare for Chelsea in 10 days' time? Monday Night Football next week. That's all they're thinking about. And that can help you. Now, that also does have a caveat, because let's be completely honest about it. If you look at Arsenal, right, when we got knocked out of the Europa League is when our football results actually started to decline. Because sometimes being in European football is actually a benefit, because what that makes you do is it gives you a circuit breaker. Arsenal played horribly against Chelsea on the weekend and got a point. Undeservedly got a point. We went to Sevilla in Europe, a game where we were lacking a bit of confidence after drawing to Chelsea, but still had some momentum after getting the 2 goals back and played really well and beat Sevilla. Suddenly, we've got our confidence back. If off the back of the Chelsea draw, we'd gone straight into our next Premier League game, we would have carried over that kind of like that good and bad momentum. Do you get what I mean? So sometimes European football can be a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing in the sense that it can be a circuit breaker. It allows you to bounce back from Premier League defeats and be able to respond to go the weekend after. But also it's a curse because more players are playing more matches. You have to divert your attention across multiple fronts. More injuries are stacking up, etc. So I think Tottenham being out of Europe is actually a benefit for them. Do I think Tottenham will win the Premier League? No, but they don't need to. This is not their time to win the Premier League. Their time right now is to build a really exciting, forward-thinking squad, and they're miles ahead of schedule. And we saw Arsenal last season, and us Arsenal fans were watching our team week in, week out saying, this is a really good football team. This is a team that can go very far. But the media was kind of doubting us. It was only until it got to after the World Cup where people were going, hang on a minute, Arsenal haven't fallen away yet. They're still top of the table. They could go all the way here. Lo and behold, we didn't end up winning the league. But it wasn't a season that Arsenal fans are going to forget quickly. Now, a similar situation could happen for Tottenham. I'm not quite going to put them as title challengers yet. I think they've got a very good chance getting top 4, but still the season's early. But I will say this: I wait for the Christmas run. I wait for the Christmas run, and I wait to see how they react to injuries, because being anti-fragile is a massive, massive indicator of how successful you're going to be as a football club. Because Arsenal last season, when we had our starting 11, perfect, one of the best teams in world football, but a Saliba gets injured, a Partey gets injured, a Martinelli or Trossard or Gabriel Jesus goes down, and suddenly Arsenal's performances start to deteriorate. And I'm waiting to see if something similar happens to Tottenham. Now, losing a Bissouma for one game, or losing a what's the guy's name? Udogi for one game, you can survive. Bentancur's come back from injury, he can supply in for Bissouma. But you lose a James Maddison, who comes in for him. You lose a Heung-min Son, who brings in the goals Son was bringing in. You lose a Mickey van der Ven, who's going to start pairing up with Christian Romero. That is what I worry about for Tottenham Hotspur. They remind me very much of Arsenal last season because their starting 11 is brilliant. Their starting 11 is second to none superb. But are they anti-fragile? Have they got the right pieces to come in if key players get injured? Because that's a worry. I said the same thing about Arsenal last season. Partey goes out for one game, fine. He misses 2-3 games, manageable. But same with Saliba. He misses 2-3 months, then you've got a problem. You bring in Holding for 2 games, he'll survive. You bring in Holding for 10 games, you've got a problem. Similar thing happening here with Tottenham. Van der Ven out for 1 game, fine. Out for 2 games, manageable. Suddenly you have Eric Dyer coming for 6, 7, 8 games in a row, things are going to go wrong. Same with Son coming out from someone like Brennan Johnson. You've got to keep your key players fit. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these Tottenham players have a record of getting injured. Heung-min Son, for one of them, gets injured from time to time. James Maddison always seems to get a lengthy injury. So, not good on their behalf, they don't get them. But if you're Tottenham Hotspur, keep the key players fit and make sure you keep buying into the process because the football is beautiful. Trust me when I say that, man. And it might be a very special season for Tottenham Hotspur. And I've said it from the start. I said it from the very first game Ange Postecoglou managed at Tottenham. I saw something. I saw the way the players were buying into it. I saw the fact that his team was actually playing a very coherent style of football where everyone was understanding each other's roles. And it's good because these Tottenham players have been starved of forward-thinking football for years now. For years. Under Conte, Mourinho, Espirito Santo. I'm talking 4 years now. Tottenham have been playing football to defend. That's the only thought process. Defend, defend, defend. And suddenly now, under Ange Postecoglou, they're thinking attack, attack, attack. And players love that. They love buying into that. They don't want to sit there and defend. No football player wants to sit there and defend for 90 minutes. They want to play forward-thinking football. Tottenham have too many attacking players, good attacking quality players on the pitch to not play forward-thinking football. So I think for them, they got to keep going in this vein of form, and who knows what can happen. I'm distraught as an Arsenal fan. We didn't humble them at the Emirates, but you have to give them a heap of credit for that. I don't think we were our best when we played them at the Emirates, to be honest, but still, I think you got to give Tottenham a heap of credit because, as I said before, everyone's saying, oh, Tottenham haven't played any hard games yet. It's a lie. I think Tottenham's schedule's been tougher than Man City's schedule, for example. They've played Liverpool. They've played Arsenal. They've gone Brentford and Palace away. These are not easy football games by any stretch of the imagination. Tottenham have played some tough football matches. Trust me. Yes, they've not played Man City yet, but it doesn't matter right now. They've played some tough games. So I think Tottenham, for them, they got to keep going in their vein of form. And I think for everyone else, give it some time. Tottenham will fall off, I think, eventually. But it's all about how Tottenham do respond to a fall off. Because suddenly everyone's going, oh, Tottenham. Suddenly the media start talking about it. The people on YouTube start talking about Tottenham. Oh, Tottenham in a title race. When you start hearing those little whispers about Tottenham in a title race, how do you respond? When Arsenal saw the graphic come up on Sky Sports, race for the Premier League title, Arsenal versus Man City, it's when the pressure got a bit too much for them. The lights, the cameras, they couldn't quite hack it. And Arsenal started to fall away, and the Man City locomotive chased them up and got past them. How are Tottenham going to respond when the media starts whispering about a Tottenham title charge? How's the media going to respond when the media starts talking about, ooh, Tottenham are looking really good? Tottenham can beat anyone. That's how you try to respond. Embrace the underdog mentality for now, because trust me, when the pressure's on your shoulders, it's never easy. And if past has been any sort of indicator with Tottenham Hotspur, it's not a great thing when pressure mounts on their shoulders because they seem to do a Spursy thing, which is bottle it. But let's get into some of your comments. Mali, I appreciate you on stream. My friend have been doing really well. Evening Dennis, they won again. Again, exactly. Spurs find a way to grind out results. Look, they're not winning games 3 or 4-0, but they're finding a way to win them comprehensively. And that is important. A 2-1 away win against Palace is a superb result. Trust me. RG12, come back to this. Tottenham won't even make top 4 this season. I think it's still early to call. I think that comment's obviously charged by our Arsenal supporter bias. I think Tottenham have got a very good chance of making top 4. I'm not going to change my top 4 just yet. My top 4 is Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Man United. It has been that for the past few weeks now. But I'm not going to change it just yet. But I will say this. Tottenham are going to make me change my mind very soon if they keep this up. Very, very soon. I'm waiting for Tottenham to lose the game before I make my opinion. And I'll tell you why. Because that seems counterintuitive. Because, if they lose a game, they're not going to make top 4. But if they lose a game, they're going to be less likely of making top 4. Yes, but I'm waiting for Tottenham to lose a game. Not to say, oh, I told you so. Tottenham are finally going to lose a game. I'm waiting for Tottenham to lose a game so I can look at how they respond to losing. Because that's what makes really great teams. Every team's going to lose in football. Every team. No team's going to go unbeaten this season. I promise you that. The good teams respond to defeats. The good teams make 3 points dropped or 2 points dropped. 3 points guaranteed the weekend after. That is what the top teams do. The bad teams accumulate bad losses with more bad losses. It avalanches. It goes from 2 or 3 points dropped to 5 or 6 points dropped. Do you get what I mean? So I want to see how Tottenham respond to a defeat. That's what I'm waiting for. Because the momentum's with them right now. They're winning for fun. And you got to congratulate them along the way. But wait until you lose a tough away game. And I'll be honest, I thought this could have been a banana peel game for Tottenham. I look at it, Friday night, under the lights, Crystal Palace away. It's got all the hallmarks of an upset. But they went through it. But I'm waiting for Tottenham to lose. They're going to have some tough games. Brighton will be a tough game. Villa will be a tough game. Of course, the Big Six is always a tough game. I'm waiting to see Tottenham lose, and I want to see how they respond to a loss. Do Tottenham lose and then bounce back brilliantly, winning 2-3-0, looking like their old selves? Okay. Suddenly you look at Tottenham in a different vein. Suddenly I've got more respect for them. Or do they lose a game and suddenly the wheels fall off the bus, the confidence is completely gone, they've shot themselves in the foot, and they start to go on more of a back to the old days of losing, drawing, win, draw, lose, going to a bit more of an inconsistent form. That's what I'm waiting for. Because when you're at your worst, really dictates what a football team is like, what the real team is made of. Everyone can look good when you're winning. Everyone wants to football when you're winning. Everyone's got high confidence when you're winning. But when you're losing, that is when you really get to decide who's really up for it, who's the good players around the football team. That's what I'm waiting for with Tottenham Hotspur. So let's see. How they're going to respond to a loss? I can't wait to find out, really. I'm keeping up to date with Tottenham games, basically week in, week out. And I'll be watching their next game against Chelsea. We'll be live streaming straight after on this channel. So Tottenham fans and Chelsea fans and anyone else that's interested in that football match, make sure you subscribe down below. I'm to 5,000 subscribers and hit the bell notification button so you never miss a future stream on this channel. I just logged onto YouTube. I can't wait till they get humbled. Yeah, I'm waiting for it as well, but I'm also waiting for the response. That's the main thing. True Guna, appreciate joining the stream, my friend. They've been doing really well. Big up, Dennis, bro. You make a great point. This Spurs start reminds me of exactly how we started last season. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. I think it's got very much close parallels to Arsenal last season. Everything about it, the fact it came out of nowhere, the fact that they're running the same starting 11, and Tottenham are one of the few teams in this Premier League, and this is a very underrated thing as well I want to mention. Tottenham are one of the few teams in this Premier League that, in my opinion, have found their starting 11 already so early in the season. Normally, it takes a good 10, 15 games to find your starting 11. Spurs found their starting 11 after about 4 matches. They found it. There was a little run where Richarlison was out the team and you had Manuel Solomon in the team, but Spurs have found their strongest 11, and that's very important. Arteta found his Arsenal's strongest 11 very early last season and ran it, and it was working very well. If you look at Arsenal, you look at Man City, you look at Liverpool, you still don't really know their strongest 11. You can't go into a match week predicting Arsenal, City, or Liverpool's lineup with a lot of confidence. But if I'm watching a Tottenham game, provided there's no injuries, I'm confident I'm getting at the very least, 9 or 10 out of those starting 11 players, bang on prediction who's starting. And that's a very good sign, because I've always made this point about football teams. Consistency gets you results. But it's not just consistency in terms of performance. It's consistency in team selection. It's consistency in formation, in tactics, in management, everything. Consistency starts at the top and feeds all the way down to the bottom. It's like cogs in a wheel. You got to get it bit by bit by bit. And when the process is sound from the top, it's very much a case of correlation to you getting good results on the football pitch. And I think Tottenham have nailed that so far. So Ange Postecoglou deserves a lot of credit. And I think also the Tottenham players deserve a lot of credit because they're buying into what he wants as well. Come on, Chelsea, I want them to win. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I actually want Chelsea to beat Tottenham as well on Monday. Good evening, Malia. I'm not convinced. You're not convinced about Tottenham? Okay, let me put it this way. If you're not convinced about Tottenham yet, what will make you convinced about Tottenham? That's what I want to find out. What do you want to see from Tottenham that will make you go, okay, they're actually looking like a really good football team? That's what I want to find out from you guys. Is it a case of beating Man City? Is it you're waiting until Christmas time? Is it you're waiting until they, I don't know, win like 3-4 more matches? What will make you be convinced with Tottenham? Because it's still early days, fine, but over 25% of the season's gone. They've won 8 and drawn 2. That is no mean feat. That is an unbelievable record. If Man City had this record, we'd be applauding them, let alone a Tottenham team. So I think it's, for some people, they'll never be convinced. Maybe because it's Arsenal bias, maybe because they hate Tottenham. Who knows? But for other people, I think it's going to take a little bit more time, but they will get convinced very soon. Maddison is their most important player, IMO. If they lose him, they're finished. That's another thing. Tottenham are not a resilient team. Right now, they're a Lamborghini with no alarm system. That's how I would give an analogy for Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur right now are a Lamborghini with no defense security system. They look amazing. They're playing amazing. But if one thing goes wrong, they can get breaking into too easy. If Maddison goes down injured, if Son goes down injured, if Mickey van der Ven or Romero go down injured, who knows? If they lose a game, do they suddenly wheels start to fall off the bus? I'm waiting to see and find out. But for now, they're looking good. Very, very good. So, look, I think it's easy to say if this player goes down, if this player goes down, they're going to fall apart. But I think it's actually more of a respect to say that Tottenham have actually built a really solid football team and invested the money wisely. It's a very underrated thing as well, because Tottenham Hotspur have had one of the best transfer windows in their history. In their history, man. And it's very much down to the manager and the management in terms of everyone around the football club, because they lost Harry Kane. And losing Harry Kane would never have been easy. He's been their best player for 6-7 seasons now, confidently. He's a young boy, grew up there, grew around North London, obviously was an Arsenal fan. I have to add that one in there. But do you get what I mean? Losing Harry Kane would have been tough. He's a fan favourite and everything. It would have been very easy to go and find, okay, we've lost Harry Kane for 100 million. Let's sign another striker for 100 million and try and replace Harry Kane. But they didn't. They actually went for the more ballsy approach, which is, okay, we've lost Harry Kane. We appreciate that there's going to be very few strikers on the market that will bring the goals Harry Kane will bring. And 2 reasons. One, he's going to cost an awful lot of money. And 2, he probably won't go to Tottenham Hotspur. He'll go to a club that's got higher prestige in Tottenham. So let's not go for that. Instead, let's reinvest the Harry Kane money across 3 or 4 players that will improve our whole team. And that's exactly what they did. They signed Vicario, Mickey van der Ven. They signed James Maddison. That's 3 players already for less than Tottenham Hotspur spent. So then for less than Tottenham Hotspur sold Harry Kane for. They've improved their starting 11. Now, granted, they did sign those players prior to Harry Kane leaving, but they would have had an inkling. I'm guarantee you this, guys, yeah? Daniel Levy, Ange Postecoglou, they would have known, yeah, Harry Kane is leaving this window. It's a matter of when, not a matter of if. So they already reinvest that money knowing Harry Kane was leaving. Do you get what I mean? It was a trade payable. So it was a trade receivable. It was coming in the door at some point. But I will say this. Their transfer window was superb. And it reminds me of Liverpool. When Liverpool lost Coutinho, they didn't just try and sign another Coutinho. They reinvested the money across their whole squad. And that helped Liverpool to go on to win the Premier League title. Now, God forbid Tottenham win a trophy, because I'm an Arsenal fan and I do not want to see that day happen. But you can see Tottenham actually start to bring in a new team. And many will talk about the old Tottenham, trophyless. Oh, it's in their DNA to never win a trophy. They'll bottle it. It's a Spursy team. If you look at this Tottenham team now and compare it to Tottenham team of the previous seasons, it's completely different. Just look at the back 5, including the goalkeeper, for example. Vicario, brand new. Mickey van der Ven, brand new. Udogie, brand new. Romero, only been there 2 seasons. Porro, only been there 6 months. It's a brand new football team, man. Look at Arsenal, for example. Something very similar happened. It wasn't too long ago, Arsenal had Kolasinac, Socrates, Koscielny, Bellerin, Cech. You know what I mean? Coquelin, Torreira, players like that. You look now, Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White, Zinchenko/Timber/Tomiyasu, Ramsdale/Raya. It's a brand new Arsenal team at the back from what you saw 2, 3, 4 seasons ago during the COVID years. We were watching Kolasinac kick football. Do you get what I mean? So there has been a complete change from Tottenham. So I think they are very underrated in that fact. And look, I don't want them to win a trophy. Of course I don't. But I am seeing a Tottenham team that is improving, and they deserve an awful lot of credit for that, an awful lot of credit. By the way, guys, as a segue, follow me on Instagram. I'm dropping clips from my stream. So yeah, YFootball23 on Instagram. Be sure to check it out. I'm posting multiple reels daily, clips from my live streams. And if you're new around here and enjoying the streams, I post, live streams after most televised football matches for Premier League and Champions League. And I'll be dropping a stream tomorrow for Arsenal versus Sheffield United. So make sure to stay tuned for that. and on Sunday for the Manchester derby. I cannot wait for it. So I'll be streaming after the game tomorrow between Arsenal and Sheffield United, and Sunday for United versus City. I cannot wait. So subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you do not miss it. One injury, then it's kaput. We'll see. The question is, we will see. That is the main question. Best start ever in Spurs history. Shouldn't be underestimated. Should not be underestimated one bit. I don't gamble, but I will bet Liverpool and Arsenal will finish above them. I say 5th or 7th. I think 7th is harsh. I think 7th's out the equation. I think Spurs will finish top 5. I think. I'm teetering between Champions League spots. For me, I think it's going to be Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool. For sure will get top 3. For sure. And then I'm stuck between Tottenham, United, and Chelsea making a late run for the 4th, 5th, and 6th positions. I still think Newcastle, Aston Villa, Brighton are a little bit short of getting it, to be honest. I still think they're a little bit short. But I do think for sure that Chelsea could make a run in the second half of the season, especially when Nkunku comes back, because I think he's a brilliant player. And I'm waiting to see if Tottenham fall off. And I'm still waiting for Man United to go on a run like they always seem to do. So that's my thought process behind it. There's and his objective analysis. Always, man. Always got to give the objective analysis. I can't stand them waiting for those losses. Hey, me too, man. I'm waiting for Tottenham. Make no mistake about it. I am praying on their downfall. Guys, I know I'm speaking glowingly about Ange Postecoglou and Tottenham Hotspur, but I am still an Arsenal fan. I still do watch them hoping they lose. But I still have to give credit where credit's due. They've been fantastic. I think a lot of Tottenham fans that tune in didn't know I'm an Arsenal fan, probably think I'm a Spurs fan, the way I talk about them, to be honest. Tottenham, 5 points split at the top. Arsenal injuries recurring. Can we just have a break? Well, here's the thing, right? That's the way it is. There's a yin and yang to everything. If you want to play Champions League football, if you want to play more fixtures, you're going to have more injuries. If you want to play intense, forward-thinking, high-press football, you're going to have more injuries. It's the way of the world. There's nothing that comes in one way without having equal on the other side to balance it. There's going to be every pro has an equal and opposite con. Every single thing is going to be weighed up evenly. And Spurs, they're out the Champions League, they're out the Carabao Cup, so they're going to be playing less football overall, which means they're probably going to have less injuries. It's just the way it is. So it's just the way it goes. But if they get Champions League football next season, they're going to have to face that. So who knows, man? And I ain't talking an international break. Genuinely, it's going to sound weird, but as an Arsenal fan, because of the injuries we get, I actually look forward to international breaks sometimes. Like when we had the international break after beating Man City, I low-key was like, you know, this is actually very good because it gives Saka time to get back, it gives Partey time to get back, etc. Extra time on the treatment table for other players like Martinelli who got rushed back. Lo and behold, Partey got re-injured anyway. So this brother's always injured. It doesn't matter if there's an international break or free-flowing football. The man will always find a way to get injured. But yeah, low-key, the international breaks are good at times. Rory, don't worry. City will take over. We'll see, man. We'll see. I can't wait. Come April time. So yeah, so you think Tottenham come April time is when you'll judge them. I think Tottenham, look, let's be honest, right? I think they've done very well to start this season. I think it's harsh to wait till April time. My question is this, right? If I pull up the Premier League table from last season, Premier League table, how many points did Tottenham get last season? That's what I want to find out. Right. Tottenham last season finished in 8th position with 60 points. Now, Tottenham got 60 points last season. I'll be completely honest. I want to hear all you guys' thoughts on live chat. 25 people watching right now. Did you think at the start of the season, Tottenham would get more or less than 60 points? They got 60 points last year. Did you think this season Spurs would get more or less than 60 points? Be completely 100% honest. Having lost Harry Kane and gone from managing Ange Postecoglou, that many thought, who is that? We know he managed Celtic, but who is that? I thought they were going to go for Julian Nagelsmann, for example. Did you think they were going to get more or less? I thought they'd get less. I'll be honest, I did. Tottenham right now, after 10 Premier League matches, are on 26 points. Meaning if they win and draw their next game, they will already have half the points of last season's tally. So for me, if Tottenham get more points from last year, it's already a massive achievement, having lost Harry Kane and many thinking they would plummet down the table rather than shoot up it. So I think already it's a massive achievement for Tottenham if they get more than 60 points. I think they could easily catch 70, easily, because they've got momentum right now. And momentum go a long way. I don't think they're going to win the league because I still think we have to judge them in crunch time and judge them, as many have said already in the stream, judge them when they get key injuries like Maddison, Son, Mickey van der Ven, etc. We don't wish injuries on any players. but injuries are a part of football. It is inevitable. It's just a matter of who you get injuries to and how long those injuries are. But I think if Tottenham do really well this season, it would be 70 points. If they get more points from last season, it'd be brilliant. With 70 points, it'd be fantastic. And they're well on course to do so. Is this FIFA? Maguire winning man of the match awards, Onana saving a pen and a clean sheet, Tottenham top of the league. My mind isn't functioning properly. It's a football manager save, man. It's a simulation and we're all in it. To be fair, they almost lost Van der Ven in the first half. Yeah, Palace were quite dirty. I can't lie. Palace were very dirty with their injuries, to be honest. What do you think of two West Ham? What do you think of two West Ham? Do you mean like what do I think of West Ham? I think West Ham are brilliant. I think West Ham are brilliant for what they are. Look, West Ham have responded brilliantly last season because I did think, right, that the Europa Conference League form saved David Moyes' job because in the Premier League, they were diabolical. But this year, Spurs, just like Tottenham, have made some brilliant signings. I think Tottenham and West Ham have had the two best transfer windows this season. For Tottenham's transfer window, goes without saying, fantastic. And arguably, the two best teams that have had the best transfer windows, Tottenham and West Ham, have been the two teams that have lost the best players in the Premier League, in Kane and Declan Rice. It's crazy. They've reinvested the money so well. How many times do we see teams sell a player and reinvest the money horribly? You just have to ask Tottenham with Gareth Bale, Liverpool with Luis Suarez back in the day. Horrible reinvestment of cash. But Tottenham and West Ham have reinvested the money superbly. West Ham, for example, James Ward-Prowse, brilliant signing. Edson Alvarez, brilliant signing. You got the other player in there, Mohamed Kudus, not starting enough games, but brilliant signing. I think their midfield alone looks much better, much more balanced now, rather than just the Declan Rice show. So yeah, I think to be fair, West Ham have been brilliant as well. Also, do you know what you're picking for your research project? Yes, I've already picked it. It is Modern Methods of Construction for Affordable Housing in Developing Countries. I study civil engineering, if anyone asking. If it sounds boring, it is. Look at Chelsea. I don't think anyone in the starting 11 that was here in the 2010s. Yeah, Chelsea had an overhaul as well, but that would be expected because Chelsea have spent an awful lot of money, to be honest. But the thing is, Tottenham still own that deadwood from last season that didn't accumulate more points than the Arsenal team that finished 8th, 2020-2021. Van der Ven for Dyer, for example. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what we have to watch out for. When injuries do occur, which are inevitable, do Tottenham go back to their old selves, which is dropping points for fun, or do they actually start to maintain that consistency? Because I always say this, right? Losing one player is not the end of the world. Losing two players, you can survive. But you lose 3 or 4 players or lose key players like Maddison, Son for extended periods, I'm talking months rather than days, that's when problems start to occur. Same thing happened with Arsenal last season. We lost Partey for 2-3 games. We survived. We lost Jesus for 2 months. We survived. We lost Saliba for 1 game. We were okay. Lost him for 2 games. We were okay. We lost Saliba for the whole season. Team completely sunk like the Titanic. Holding came in, sunk the gap up differently. We needed Kivior to come in, who was a brand new signing, to actually steady the ship somewhat. But even then, he was nowhere near the level of Saliba. Do you get what I mean? So, look, I think it all depends on how Tottenham respond to injuries. Are they anti-fragile? Are they resilient? Because resilient is a massive attribute attributed to top Premier League and just football teams in general. Are you resilient? Are you consistent? Resilient. Those are 2 things I look for. Actually, this research project selection might make a good video for your other channel. I can explain how you do choose your topic. Potentially, yeah, I'll consider it second term. I've got a video coming out over the weekend about revising for exams, which is what you recommended to see one, by the way. So stay tuned for that. It's almost finished editing, but it will be out on my main channel over the weekend. Hopefully, it'll be on revision techniques for exams. So anyone that's a student out there, check it out, man. My personal channel is my name, Dennis Sancar. Arsenal let go of them players a long time ago, like Bellerin, Socrates, Koscielny's, etc. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. And you need that. You need to overhaul because even if they're not playing games, deadwood that remains in the football club is like poison. And I know that sounds very harsh, but do you get what I mean? It spreads. Because players know if one of them goes in the team, it's a long day. I'm surprised Cedric is still at Arsenal, to be honest. But thankfully, a lot of them are gone. Less. Well, there we go. A lot of you predicted Tottenham would get less points. So the fact they're on course to get far more points is literally an accomplishment in itself. I expected them to get more points, and this, me being totally honest, because I was thinking back to Arsenal from last year, but I thought they were still finishing the same position. Interesting. Very interesting you think that. That was a typo. That wasn't supposed to be a 2. Whatever, I answered the question anyway. Hopefully you like the answer. Great dissertation topic, Des. Appreciate it. Can help a lot of people in developing countries. I'll try, man. I'll try. We saw a glimpse of what they played in the Carabao Cup when their French players came in for Spurs and they got knocked out before any of the big boys were in there. True, but it was Fulham away, which is a tough game. And they lost on penalties. Anything can happen on penalties, to be honest. He's Wins trainer, Cedric, teaching her Portuguese. That's a good idea, to be fair. Probably, man. Probably getting your money's worth for Cedric, at least. But yeah, guys, I'm going to start to round up the stream now. I do appreciate everyone that tuned in. I will be back tomorrow for Arsenal, Sheffield United in the Premier League. I'll give my score prediction right now for the game. So my score prediction for Arsenal versus Sheffield United tomorrow is a 2-0 Arsenal victory. I think we'll win 2-0. I'm surprised I mentioned a clean sheet because, to be honest, we don't tend to get clean sheets at home, but I think we are due a clean sheet. Now, let's be honest about it. Playing Sheffield United is the easiest 3 points you'll get all season long, especially at home. So I don't want to get complacent, but we should be rolling over Sheffield United. But to be honest, anything can happen. Either way, make sure you stay tuned right here tomorrow for Arsenal versus Sheffield United. Stream is due to start about 5 p.m, obviously depending on added time, stoppage time, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I will be streaming tomorrow for Arsenal versus Sheffield United. So I hope to see you guys all there. I've been wonderful. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Let's run through your score predictions, actually. 4-0 Mane says and 3-0 Arsenal says. So convincing Arsenal victories all way round. I'll be dropping a preview for Arsenal versus Sheffield United as well on my channel. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I've been Football. I hope to catch you guys all my next video and take care.